when you have to live out of your car, usually you're down on your luck, or you're just about to get a record deal like Jewel. But my friend Eli actually lived out of his Tesla in Europe for an entire week. I thought it was a pretty cool adventure that he had, and you've seen him on my show a few times, and I was on his channel as well. He is right here in Sacramento, where I'm going to be moving pretty soon. So he just came back from that trip. If you followed him on Instagram, you know it was a beautiful, beautiful drive and beautiful trip. So I wanted to bring him on the show and have him tell you guys how amazing it was, and that's coming up next.
Taking over the world, electrifying the world, evil in a trick.
Welcome to the show. Thank you to those of you guys who are watching this live on Patreon, and if you're watching this on YouTube, of course, thank you for joining me. Of course, consider subscribing so you don't miss anything moving forward. Now, Eli is a founder of My Tesla Adventure, and I'm going to tell him, I'll let him explain what it is. I was a part of his Tesla Adventure event a few weeks ago, and there's a video about that. That was absolutely amazing. But he just had another one in Europe, which I couldn't, I just couldn't take a week off and hang out in Europe, unfortunately, but he did. He met a lot of great people, as you can see, seen some amazing scenery. So he's here to talk to us and tell us about this. So without further ado, Eli, welcome to the show.
Hi, Alex. Thanks for having me back.
Absolutely, man. It's always a pleasure. So, all right. First of all, for those of you who haven't seen them on my channel just yet, tell everybody what it is that you do and what this whole My Tesla Adventure is. What kind of car is involved? What kind of activity it is? Is this your car or my car? Tell me all about it.
Well, I'll happily borrow your car if you're offering. So I am Eli. I'm the founder of My Tesla Adventure. My Tesla Adventure is a Tesla owners community focused on coming together around fun events and having great adventures. We don't operate like a club. There's no membership list, no membership dues. It's all about just owners getting together, networking, connecting, having a great time. So this trip I just came back from was called the Tour de Tesla. It was a 7 countries and 7 days trip around
Tour de Tesla.
Yeah, Tour de Tesla.
Were there any illegal doping drugs involved, or everyone was okay there?
We stuck to just large doses of caffeine.
Excellent, excellent. Go on.
We didn't make it to Amsterdam where any of the better stuff's legal. So we did the Tour de Tesla was 7 countries in 7 days, going from Slovenia to Austria to Germany to Switzerland, Liechtenstein, Italy, Croatia. And the entire trip, and this was the real key to the trip, the entire trip I lived out of a Tesla. Had a Dreamcase bed set up in the back, brought all my clothes with me. I stored in the front at night, and I spent 7 days going through 7 countries, over 2,000 kilometers, living out of the Tesla.
And we're looking at the picture, and that's some people like this. I don't care for it too much. I don't know, whatever. But but some people say this is a great view here, and it's a pretty cool time, way to spend your time. Tell me what's going on here, and of course I want to know, how did you shower, or how did you survive like that?
I think the reason why you didn't like that view is it's missing all the oil, smog, and pollution you're used to seeing.
That's probably what it is. That's probably what it is. Yeah, yeah.
So
it's not beautiful enough, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah,
it's not quite perfect enough.
Yeah.
So to your question, how did all that go? How do we shower? How do we do all these things? A number of different ways, actually. One of them, stopped by a hotel, asked them to use the showers they had. They were all very kind and gracious. We grabbed one by paying $20 at a hostel to use to stay at the hostel and use the shower there. Swam in a lake a couple nights. That was probably the most invigorating, was jumping into the lake at Sirmione, where all these, millionaires and upper echelon people are staying at their hotels, and they see this American guy in his smiley face underwear jump into the lake. That was kind of a great time.
Way to uphold this stereotype. Oh, these disgusting Americans jumping out pools. Ew.
It was the lake. And you know what? If I was the disgusting American, it's only because I wasn't like the Italian guy next to me who was all natural.
Oh, wow. Great. I hope there is no videos of that.
None of that.
Excellent. Okay, so that's pretty cool that people were friendly enough to let you just kind of hang out and use their showers. But tell us like which countries you visited. Obviously, I'm showing some videos of your beautiful drives and everything. And tell us about the people you've met. And did you meet other Tesla owners? Did you meet other people who had no clue what the hell this thing is? Tell me about that.
So we actually met quite a few other Tesla owners. We met Tesla owners at superchargers. I was wearing my sweatshirt, of course, everywhere just to kind of identify who I was and what I was with. We met a lot of different Tesla owners, and that was really fantastic to see the shared passion for Tesla that they have in Europe, just like we do in California, who are much more closer to it. And I think what I found is the same community we have in the US and in California that follows Tesla, they're following the same channels and the same platforms that we are. So even though they're geographically separated, they're still following the same news line, the same storyline that we are. But then the real surprising part and really fun part was there was a lot of people who seeing us in our Tesla was the first time they'd seen a Tesla. One of the things we do when we go through places, we'd roll down the window, and the friend that I was with called it Tesla talk. That when we would drive by, people would point and stare and talk. And the people who knew what the car was would sometimes even kind of chase us down the road to try and get us to stop so they could see inside. It was really awesome as somebody who only got their Tesla more recently compared to some of the folks who've been in the community much longer, like Alex, to see that kind of passion from people who are just so excited to see this thing that they go out of their way to come talk to you, even knowing you're a foreigner, to see this awesome, exciting car that they even just want to be a part of, even just by touching it, even just by touching the center console inside.
So what's the first like reaction, and what's their first question about the car? Like people who've never seen it.
Their initial first reaction most commonly is, wow, that screen is so huge on the MCU. And the initial first question pretty universally is, and it's kind of a confirmation question, this is 100% electric.
Interesting.
Really,
wow.
Yeah.
That's not what they used to ask us back in 2012. So that's actually progress, I would say. Because they used to go like, well, but that's great, but can it go all the way to LA and back? You know? And the answer was yes, it could, but still. So now it's more like, oh wow, it's the future is here kind of a thing. Huh.
Exactly. They're very, what I noticed there is they are very open to and very welcoming of zero emission clean air technology and electric vehicles. And here's one of the other thing, Alex, that was very shocking to find out. In Europe, people would never drive from California to LA. Or sorry, from San Francisco to LA. I mean, they won't drive more than 200 kilometers in a day. And you and me are talking about driving 400 or 500 miles. They don't do that. The range.
I don't think people understand that in Europe, when they want to travel from one country or even from one city to another, it's all about trains, sometimes planes. No one's actually unless it's part of their adventure. They don't really do that. So the cars with a 200-mile range there is perfectly fine, more than enough actually.
Exactly. And so for these people, a car that does 200 kilometers is enough. And we're talking the Teslas are doing over 400 kilometers. So the range, there has never been really a range anxiety issue as a motivating factor for them. And I'm really surprised to find even the more adventurous people there, they have a much lower tolerance for distance driving than we do. Much, much less. Even some of the people that even adventured with us kind of were like griping about the distance. And, we're looking at each other and like, we just did like 1,500 kilometers in 2 days. Like, what are you talking about? This is normal. Like, when I get home, I'm going to be going from Sacramento to LA like tomorrow on Wednesday. So it's no big deal. So that was really interesting to see just how that plays differently. And it also plays really well for electric vehicles. One of the big things that was interesting to see is a lot of the people we met there that had Teslas, they weren't new to the community. They all had the old front fascia. I only saw one car that was even new enough to have autopilot too. I mean, Alex, these people joined Tesla when you did. They were ordering the first car, putting the deposits down ahead of time, excited for them to get there. And don't get me wrong, we've seen some new ones, but like there was a large faction of like original early adopters that are still carrying through.
So what do you think is the biggest difference between Tesla owners here and Tesla owners in Europe, if any?
The passion for Tesla is really the same. I think there's some different ways in which that manifests. In fact, like I saw some things of the Tesla Owners Italy guys have actually taken it way beyond just the cars. And they're actually doing a full program where they custom built their own trailer They put in their own custom battery pack, solar panels that they go around to different affected, impoverished and devastated areas in Italy after earthquakes and make fresh food while simultaneously showing this can all be done with clean energy.
That's really awesome. Yeah, I mean, this is the thing that I think here in the Bay Area I don't notice as much because people get this car because it's cool now, right? I remember back in the day when we were getting it, it was for a lot of good, right? And not to say that people don't really, count the environmental, goodness or whatever benefits now, but I think here it's more for a cool fact, and it's great to see that people around the world are still kind of seeing this as an opportunity to help everybody around them.
They are, and that's actually the primary motivating factor for these owners talk about it. And I think the traditional auto industry, the big oil auto industry, has a lot more influence in Europe because over there, in a general sense of the general population, Tesla is not cool the way it is here.
Really? How so?
By my interactions with other car drivers that are really in the Mercedes and those other camps, they kind of treated me like the enemy. Some of them very directly and very aggressive, rude conversations I did my best to stay away from.
Wow, that's I would have loved to see a video of that. I have to say, I mean, I just went to Europe twice, once to Milan, another one's to Great Britain. I wasn't driving a Tesla, but I was asking everybody, and everybody was kind of like, yeah, we like that. That's kind of like an iPhone of cars. That's so weird. Wow, that kind of sucks that you had that experience, and I hope that's not a general consensus there. If anything, I always think of Europe as being pretty progressive, even more progressive than us here.
I think in a lot of ways Europe is. That was just one of that. I mean, there was just a couple of examples of that I don't think it was going to be typical what you'd experience, but it was a symptom of the kind of influence that the competing forces to what Tesla is doing have there, right? Like Mercedes and these other companies have very deep, very well entrenched in Europe, especially around Germany and Austria. Yeah, I don't want to name the companies. I don't want to disparage any of them for the acts of individuals.
All right, fair enough. All right, well, so I mean that's pretty cool. I mean the videos we've seen and I've shown that's obviously has been great, and I too bad I couldn't make it, and I'm really jealous of those people who were able to make it. Now, once again, so first of all, if people want to participate, myteslaadventure.com. You also have a YouTube channel, also called My Tesla Adventure. I'm going to link it in the description of this video. You just had yet another event. You got back and you had another event. Tell me about that, and then tell me what's coming up. What can we expect?
So yeah, actually, just a few days after I got back, I was already getting ready for our next event, which was this past Friday at the Sacramento Raceway. And what we did is we did a Tesla owners drag strip meetup. A bunch of Tesla owners met up at the drag strip. Some raced, some watched, some had fun, all went and got dinner together after. Now, here's the crazy part, Alex, and I'm just waiting on the photos back from the photographer. We had more Teslas at the racetrack than ICE vehicles.
That is, and for those of people who don't know, that is a very much a gas type of a car activity, right? That's where you want to hear this noise and all that stuff. So the fact that, wow, that is, what do you think that means, really?
Well, there was a couple of things. There was a bit of a decline in gearheads even participating in their sport, but also that we are seeing a rise in, and it's the growth and proliferation of Teslas, and hopefully soon in the next year or two we can say electric vehicles. But it's the rise of the wave. It was really cool to see. It gave us an opportunity to talk to the people at the track and actually talk to the people there about what these cars are, because there was enough of us there in force that they paid attention. And it wasn't just, oh, what's that battery rocket? It was like, maybe we need to learn something here because this is a pretty big group of Teslas here in our parking lot.
So the reaction wasn't like it wasn't like, well, we're on this side and they're on this side, and it's kind of we're because a lot of I find a lot of people who are into like sports cars and this kind of activities, they're usually standoffish to electric car technology. How was that at the event?
I mean, there was a bit of that. The people on the far inside that have those custom dragsters that are doing quarter miles in 5 seconds, they look at what we're doing as a cheap trick and not actual art. And to a certain extent, from the driver and mechanic standpoint, they're right. We get in the cars and we just put the pedal down. We have one of the best engineered machines on earth. Unlike them, they have to engineer their machine themselves. So when they see the art taken away, it kind of hurts something they're prideful in. So for those people, they're not really excited about. But the people more in the middle, the people driving more traditional sports cars, Corvettes, Z06, they're very open to it because they're just excited about performance cars and they don't have any loyalties. They don't have any labor of love involved.
Okay, so now before you tell us what we can expect coming up and whether I can participate this time around, actually, what is it? A few weeks ago, we did this thing where you brought us all to one of the largest superchargers, and there is a video on my channel. You guys can check it out. And then we hung out there, and we went all the way to the Avila Beach, was one of my favorite beach towns, and it was just a really, really cool sort of a mini adventure of what you had in Europe. So for those of you guys who want to check it out, definitely browse to it and search for it in my channel library. But tell us about what's coming up for everybody who's going to enjoy your future adventures.
And I hope that involves you at the next one, Alex.
Me too.
So our next event is on June 9th, Saturday, June 9th. It goes from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. And it's going to be at the Auto Club Dragway in Southern California, in Fontana. We're partnering up with Tesla Club SoCal. Anybody who knows Marty of Tesla Club SoCal, she's awesome. She came.
I've met her. She is great. I'm looking forward to seeing the videos. I probably won't be there just because I'm probably. When are you saying this is going to be?
It's going to be next Saturday. And check this out, Alex. Based upon
I'll be in China. I'll be in China.
Yeah.
No, but for those of you guys who are anywhere near, should definitely go. That sounds like it's going to be awesome. But I'm looking forward to the videos. But go ahead.
And we're set to, I believe, set a record for the most Teslas at the drag strip. Right now, we're anticipating 40 Teslas in attendance.
Oh, that's pretty cool, man. That's awesome. All right. Well, I'm looking forward to watching the videos this time around. But after that, I really want to participate. And I gotta tell you, it's been I don't know, it's been like 6 years since I got my first Tesla, and I've organized some stuff myself, and I've gone to some of the stuff that other people organized, but in 6 years I don't remember anybody putting together events that were this much fun, this well organized, and it's really awesome to see. So I just thank you, man, for kind of bringing it out of everybody once again. Even 6 years later, people like me are like, yeah, let's have a great time with our Tesla. So thanks, man, I really appreciate it. So one last thing, tell us, okay, so the next event obviously sounds great. What are you planning just for the rest of the year? Maybe something in the next year. What can we expect?
So we've got a number of things coming up. In July, we are going to be doing weekend of July 21st, we're going to be doing a drive through the Marin area. Once we nail down the final route and the exact dates and meetup locations, we'll definitely announce that on our Facebook and Instagram. We're going to be doing that in July. At the end of July, we're looking to do a Tesla car camping trip down in Big Sur in Southern California. So for people who want to go spend a day, a night, or a weekend and kind of experience a little bit of what we did and what it's like to actually spend a night or even a couple of days living in your Tesla, they can come and experience that.
Nice.
We're working on, you're going to go crazy for this one. We're working on, and this is somebody we actually met at the supercharger at Kettleman City, got us inspired on an event and is working with us on in early fall. We're going to do a cannonball run. We're going to do a coast to coast trip going from New York, ending at the Fremont factory, doing a cannonball run. It's going to take us like 7 days. A handful of us are going to do the entire trip, but then we're going to make it so that there's legs of it that people can join us from different regions of the country to participate in the drive along the way.
So people can literally jump on the bandwagon. That's one of those things where it's actually going to be a good thing to do.
Yes.
Awesome. All right, man, listen, I can talk to you forever. I'm excited. It was great to see these videos. I'm still super jealous that I couldn't make it there. And I, keep doing what you're doing, man. You're keeping me excited. You're keeping the community excited. And obviously, I can't wait for you to get back again on my show sometime when we have more exciting news and footage. And it's just always fun, man. Thanks. I really, really appreciate it.
Alex, thank you for your support, and thank you to the Tesla community for your support. The reason why we do this, why I do this, is the excitement in your face and your eyes and the enjoyment you have when they come to these events. Like, we do this for all of you. We do this to enjoy this with you, and thank you all for your support, and thank you for attending.
Cool, man. Cool. Thanks. It's great to have you on the show. And for those of you who have not visited Eli's website or Instagram or YouTube channel, you're crazy. Even if you can't make it to the events, you should definitely check it out because he posts a lot, and these are all beautiful pictures and beautiful drives, and just kind of give you a great sense of a community if you don't have it already. MyTeslaAdventure.com, My Tesla Adventure on Instagram and also on YouTube. The links are all going to be in the description of this video. You don't have to write it down or anything like that. It's all there for you. So check that out. And I am excited to have him. I mean, this is his like third or fourth time on the show. He's really becoming a regular. I think he's going to have to start paying rent here. But all right, it's always good to see him. I'm excited to keep reporting on that. But that's it for me. So I will see you guys next time. And remember to stay charged.